Where do Donald Trump's tariffs stand now? I cannot keep up.
Neither can I, Catherine. They have been temporarily reinstated, but for how long, it's anyone's guess. The Trump administration had filed this immediate emergency motion to have yesterday's ruling blocked. They had said that suddenly halting these tariffs would harm national security, and it's clear that an appeals court has agreed with the Trump administration. They have reinstated the tariffs and given both parties some extra time. Within 2 weeks, they have to respond to this. In the meantime, those tariffs will stand, but no doubt the uncertainty and the volatility that they have caused will continue. The issue in this case, of course, was the fact that the Trump administration had used this emergency law to invoke these tariffs, saying that that was warranted both to address the threat of fentanyl coming across the border, but also these trade deficits that the US has with much of the world. Of course, they undermined that logic by imposing them on some countries like Australia that actually have trade surpluses. So, the court yesterday ruled that the president had overstepped his authority in using this emergency law, but clearly the appeals court has disagreed. Now, this legal fight will likely continue, and it will probably still end up in the Supreme Court. And Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, has urged the court to address this. She said that they need to put an end to this for the sake of our Constitution and our country. She also hit out at the judges in the case who made the decision yesterday, which has really been a theme throughout the Trump presidency. Here's a little of what she had to say earlier before the appeals court ruling came down.
The courts should have no role here. There is a troubling and dangerous trend of unelected judges inserting themselves into the presidential decision-making process. America cannot function if President Trump, or any other president for that matter, has their sensitive diplomatic or trade negotiations railroaded by activist judges.
Lauren, where does this leave Australia and also all the other nations caught up in this trade war?
Well, of course, this news has just broken, so we're yet to hear fresh reaction from all of these trading partners, but no doubt they'll be wondering where this leaves them as well. It's clear this will have a big impact on trade negotiations if, in fact, it does remove what was a major bargaining chip for the United States, these sky-high tariffs that they could use to threaten other trading partners in their negotiations. Earlier, Don Farrell, the Australian Trade Minister, before this ruling, of course, came down, told the ABC that they would study this ruling and that it may be subject to further legal processes through the court, perhaps foreshadowing what we have just seen in the appeals court. The British government spokesman also said that the court ruling was just the first stage of legal proceedings. Now, the industry-specific tariffs on steel, aluminium and cars remain in place, and even if this ruling had stood, some analysts, including this economist Justin Wolfers, who I spoke with earlier, said that the Trump administration could explore other legal avenues like the ones used in those tariffs to make sure that these stand. And he said that either way, it doesn't look like Donald Trump will back down so easily, regardless of what the courts say. Here's a little bit of what he told me earlier.
The president's commitment to tariffs is absolutely real. It's a failure to understand economics 101. It's a mistake that he started making at the age of 19. And the thing about 80-year-olds is they don't often reverse course when someone opens a new page in an economics textbook and explains it to them.
Now, we're yet to see how the markets will react to this appeals court decision. Earlier, they were somewhat buoyed by the ruling yesterday that had blocked these tariffs, although not as much as some analysts had expected, including Justin Wolfers, who you just heard from. He said that could be because even though the markets were worried about tariffs, they were equally worried about what the president could do next. So everyone will be waiting to see where this ends up.
It is moving fast. Thanks so much for bringing us up to speed, Lauren.